All right, yo, what's going on, y'all? Peace. We back here, MBS TV headquarters, MBS TV live. I'm your host with the most, MBS TV Mirror. Um, so to get right back into it, right? There is a lot of new shows that kind of pick up on certain things that I like to talk about in terms of men having their shit together, in terms of relationship dynamics, especially in terms of dealing with the woman on a certain level. If you're gonna be taking a woman serious, you got to have your shit in line and to a certain extent, right? So there's a lot of relationship type videos that I've been sent and that I like to review because there's a lot of people out there who have certain who just don't have people in their corner, like once again certain big brothers, uncles, fathers, or male figures in their life. They can teach them certain things who've made these mistakes already, or have seen other people go through these relationship experiences. And once again, we can provide an out for you guys because when a lot of younger guys, when they get out of school, or whenever they get home from work, if they're not in a relationship or things of this nature, we gotta have their ears to a certain degree, to be able to lead them in a direction, so that way we can stop having these relationship issues, right? Because the so-called black woman is waiting for the so-called black man to get his shit together, right? And the only way we're gonna be able to get our shit together is by understanding and having a certain code and moving. The main thing, of course, is turning back to the Most High God, right? But the next thing would be getting your shit together and everybody moving on one accord. And when I say one accord, I mean for the most part, there's certain morals or morals, ethics, and codes that we'd all start to stand by. And one thing is the DNA paternity test being mandatory whenever you're having children, and that's going to be a drop in itself. So let's get into it, man. This is a relationship, as you guys can see, where an older man is with an older woman, but he doesn't want to be in a relationship with a stripper. So, of course, I'm gonna talk about it, man. I'm just gonna be able to get my 2 cents. So let's get into it.
So tell me about your relationship with Felicia.
Well, Karomo, this has been one of the wildest rides I ever been on
Yes,
in my
sir.
life. We had a hot, steamy relationship, a
Yes.
threesome type relationship going on
Yes, sir.
for like 6, 7 months back then, right? So fast forward, we kind of fell out of touch. About 10 years go by. I done married, had kids, all that. But I'm divorcing at this time when I run back into her. This is actually around about my birthday, which is April 1st, April
Okay.
Fool's Day. Hey.
Okay.
And damn, the nigga even got a grill in his mouth. Damn. Now, one thing I can tell about this dude is that he's a P, man. He used to be a pimp. If not still currently, you see he got the little hat on. He got his hair laid down. And you can tell that the way that he carries himself, at least his countenance, that he done been around the block. He done done this thing. Right, this man has a certain swag to him. That lets he done been around the block a couple of times. But once again, they were talking about this whole swinger situation that he was dealing with. Of course, 10 years has gone by, and they had a relationship for about 6 or 7 months, brothers. You guys who are in these relationships with women who are swingers and things of this nature, for the most part, I don't want to say it's not gonna last, but for the most part, especially if you're a brother, of substance, a lot of these things are not going to be able to last because once again, you guys are looking for external sources. You guys are using external sources to be able to keep each other happy and to be able to satisfy and fulfill certain urges. So there's always a certain level of fun to it, but that's never going to be able to last. So, but once again, he's a piece. So for the most part, when he's talking about threesomes and things of this nature, he was probably pimping her out back in the day too. At least making some money off her or some along the lines of that nature, because you can tell that this is you know, as he said, it's been an up and down roller coaster ride and thing of this nature. This woman is most likely was his bottom bitch. So let's see.
I threw a party at a strip club. Actually, I had a nice young lady on my lap at the time.
So
When I
look,
seen,
so also the man is pretty damn old, and he's talking about throwing a birthday party at a strip club. So for the most part, either he got certain pull in the city, or once again he was a P.
Felicia, when I look back and I recognize, hey, come here.
This nigga's what I'm telling you, man, this nigga's a peep, bro. He hopped up and said, "Hey, bitch." He hit her with the point. "Hey, bitch, ain't you bring your ass over here?" And of course, she came over. So let's see how this went.
And she was back there looking good too, you know.
So you
Man.
knew when y'all were you got back together that she was an adult entertainer.
Well, she wasn't as much back then as she were when I hooked back up with her
Got
at
it.
this point.
Got it. Okay.
This was like in 17.
Yeah, okay, so this she was most likely a whore. An exotic dancer for the most part, of course, they pay, you, fellas, y'all know how that goes. You don't need me to tell you that niggas be paying top dollar to get some pussy. All right. What no matter whichever way you want to cut it, these are the things that go on in that world. And of course, he said when he met her, she was more getting her money on the side doing that whenever he linked back up with her. So at first, for the most part, once again, she was doing a little thing, but he brought her along and was making some money off her. That's what it seems to me.
2017,
2017.
2018. So from that point, though, when I seen her that night,
Yes, sir.
she came home with me, and really, basically, since then, she ain't left.
So did
And once again, it sounds like this nigga's a P man. The way he puts his words together for the most part, you can tell. That this is something that um, not only does he have an affinity for, but they have certain chemistry. Once again, at least to me, it seems like she was the bottom shorty. You know what that means, of course. So she was able to support him and get to the vision for the most part. So he's able to put a lot of that shit to the side, right? But the thing is, for the most part, a lot of these dudes, they get older, man. You can't be a pimp forever. So you also, whenever it comes to having kids and certain things of this nature, you want to make sure that the woman that you're laying with, I don't want to say there's no smut on her name, but you don't want to be, the dude walking around where everybody's familiar with your girl and things of this nature, because that not only does it affect your ego, it makes you question the paternity of your children. If the woman has been compromised, especially at a young age, which a lot of times you got to take into consideration too. If the woman has been compromised by so many men, and so many different colors, variations in size of penises, you know, the ability to satisfy the woman isn't, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Depending on what you're working with, or depending on how nasty, you are when in terms of the bedroom. Because you gotta be nasty for the woman. You can't just be all lovey dovey all the time, especially when it comes to sex. Especially with a woman that's experiencing things of this nature. So, once again, it will start to have certain things with it will affect the pair bonding mechanism that the Most High put into the woman, which is the maternal DNA. And she's been compromised by too much. The maternal DNA gets chipped away and chipped away and chipped away till there's nothing there anymore. And at that point, you're not going to be able to bond with the child. But a lot of people don't want to take that into consideration. They think men are just controlling a thing of this nature. But let's get back. Whatever the case may be, let's just get back into it.
you have an issue with the fact that she was an exotic dancer, or yes or no?
Well, it's a double-edged sword.
Of course, he had an issue with it, but the fact that he was making money off her in the beginning was the main thing, because he was still out there doing his thing. But now it's more so of an issue because he's trying to settle down. Of course, he don't seem like he necessarily going too hard when it come to pimping. Of course, he probably still carry his way. He carries himself a certain way, But aside from that, there's really nothing that's going to be able to fulfill him. Of course, he said he got married and probably even had kids and things of this nature, but he wants to be able to call a woman his own. So, of course, even though if he's not pimping anymore, he will want he will want a woman, that he would know is not being compromised on the side. So, you never know. Of course, it's a double-edged sword, but a lot of the time when it comes to men and these relationships, what trumps more than anything of money is, vision and happiness. So,
I respect dancers, but she can't be my woman. That's not who I choose to be with, you know, to lay with.
So then why stay with her?
And that's a very good question to ask. But to the man's point, no man wants to be with a woman who, whose body is all on display for everybody to see. Especially as an exotic dancer, you guys know that, you got certain rappers or dudes who may be popping on social media, things of this nature, who come in and got a little clout. They may not even have to pay any extra money. Especially, but this woman though, you can tell ain't nobody paying no top dollar to hit that. Ain't nobody really paying. She's old. Especially anybody who's somebody to know ain't finna be. Of course, I may be wrong because these niggas will hit anything nowadays, but that's aside from the point. It's also a very good question to ask, why are you with her? Because a lot of the times, if you're laying with the woman, what does that say about you? Not even a lot of the times, 100% of the times, if you're laying with the woman and you're having issues with her or you feel some type of way, what does that say about you?
If you have that boundary.
Well,
That's your choice.
Let me get back to what she said
Yeah.
again. This is her words.
Okay.
Her words. I'm not going nowhere. And she meant that.
Another,
Five.
in other words, she was saying, I'll put that to the side. If I'm going to be with you, then I'm going to be with you. I'm not going to go back to that. Which, once again, it tells me that this nigga was a P. And she was a bottom bitch. So
6 years has passed by with that being her stance. I have been.
See, when she said that, I took that as she's not going anywhere with you, meaning like she's staying by your side. But you're telling me what she's saying is that I'm not giving up exotic dancing.
No, she was saying she not going nowhere. Even she gonna stay dancing, and she's still not going nowhere. She not leaving. She
Got
staying
it.
with me.
Got it.
So basically, to be honest, Karomo, she really attached herself to me.
You weren't attached back?
God damn. Man, look at this goddamn wig. Jesus Christ. How do you leave the house like that, man? This shit just threw me. I forgot what the hell this nigga just said. Let me go back, man, because that wig is atrocious.
Dancing, and she's still not going nowhere. She not leaving. She
Got
staying
it.
with me.
Got it.
So basically, to be honest, Karomo, she really attached herself to me.
You weren't attached back?
I was trying to shake her off. No, I don't.
In other words, once again, it's pretty much confirmed that this nigga was a P. She attached herself to him, which is what a bottom bitch does for the most part, And they try to help you achieve the vision. But once again, this man was probably a lot more younger. He was out there playing the field as well, getting his money. So, he had a little bit more options. So things change, but it's great, when the woman attaches herself to you. That's a wonderful thing. Because that's what she was meant for. Is to latch onto you and take that love, the unconditional love that you have for your woman, and she passes that down to your children. So it's a whole trickle-down effect. And once again, when a woman does latch herself to you, you got to make sure that you do a lot of time vetting the woman and understanding the woman and testing the woman as well. Because when she latches on to you, she's going to see a lot of your flaws. So you have to be on your best game. Not necessarily your best behavior, but you have to be on your A game, and you got to be able to have your shit together. Because if a woman who you do love and is a woman for you who does decide to latch onto you, especially in these times, brother, that's a blessing from God. Okay, that's a blessing from the Most High God. Okay? So, whenever the Most High does you a favor and sends you a woman, which is a good woman in your eyes, you got to make sure you do right by her. Because the Most High God is doing you a favor by sending you a helpmate who's going to help you make the road into where you need to go easier. She's going to inspire you. That's what a real woman does.
Well, I mean, because let's be honest.
Players fall in love.
Let's be honest.
Come on,
you're right.
now.
See, once again, and like you said, players fall in love too. I'm not a fan of falling in love. I'm against falling in love. I say it's like a spell. You have to love the woman. And you have to delegate your love to the woman as well. Because when you're in love with the woman, you start to, you pretty much idolize the woman. And you allow all of her flaws, like the red flags, You know, people love saying red flags. Whenever you see certain red flag, whenever there's something that would arise a red flag, you know, since you're in love, you're kind of in the euphoria stages still. So you don't see everything for what it is. You're not thinking clearly. You're seeing everything clearly. You know, and I think I understand what the brother's saying, but falling in love is not a good thing. I think he's saying he, fell to have love for the woman, if I'm not mistaken. But you never know. So
Right. You're
Okay.
right. That is true. That is true. That is true. But all I'm saying is I felt like I deserve a better woman than that.
Okay.
I don't knock her being exotic dancer.
right, and as if that's what you think, then that's what you feel. And if that's the case, and if that's what you really feel, which then transition over to the way that you think about the woman, then you might as well just cut your ties. It's never that serious, brothers.
Why do you suspect she's cheating?
Man, she got a lot of MIA time. I can't even call this girl phone. During the day, if I'm at work, I can't call her and say, hey, baby, how you doing? She don't ever answer. In the beginning, I used to ask her, why you didn't answer my call? It done got so bad years ago, about 3 years ago, I stopped calling her phone.
Well, everyone, I just want to make sure you know, Jacoby wants to know if Felicia's having sex with her client and if she's cheating on him. But I think it's time that we see what your girlfriend has to say about all this. So everyone, please welcome Felicia to the show.